So the Kyle Dutton video gave me a good idea for talking about some of these topics, some of these videos. I'm going to discuss the inconsistency in what Jorge was saying to me one day in the barn, and it had to do with Jeremy Edwards. And while I do that, I'm going to make this picture of the barn manager at Cedar Island Ranch look real pretty. So this was after Jeremy Edwards had already left to go on his vacation. And it was mostly just Jorge and I working in the barn together. Sometimes Quinn would come in when he didn't have school and help us muck stalls and stuff. And there we go. Let's see, how about this color? That color. So one day Jorge says to me while we're mucking stalls, we're just chatting. And so now you guys tell me this. Tell me, I don't know. Was Jorge lying to me, or did Jeremy Edwards lie to Jorge? So here's what Jorge said to me, okay? And I'll make another video maybe saying this, like, just with my face so you can just see my expression. Just relaying. I'm a big fan of, like, relaying stuff face-to-face so that people can see your little micro expressions and see, because I think we know on a gut level just by observing people's micro expressions whether or not they're telling the truth. But I thought this was like a fun little, creative way of relaying information. We'll see. So anyway, let me get what Jorge Camacho Rivera said to me about Jeremy Edwards was that Jeremy had told him that he only makes $300 every couple of weeks. And when as soon as I heard that, I called it. I was like, no, that can't be right. That can't possibly be right. Jeremy definitely makes more money than that for 2 weeks of work. He definitely makes more than $300. I knew that. Like, just for his skill level, for the sheer amount of work I knew he must have had to do around the barns, because the amount of work I had to do around the barns, like, he's definitely making more than $300 every 2 weeks. But he said it in the way Jorge said it. It was like, how can I put it? It was like it was a tester. It was like testing. So at first, the way I took it, because this happened pretty early on. This wasn't a conversation we had like later. This happened within the first, I'd say, couple of weeks after Jeremy left. 2 to 3 weeks. I'd say closer to like the first 2 weeks after Jeremy left. It was like a tester feeler, and because I thought well of him, of Jorge at the time, I thought he was testing, feeling to see, like, to see what my response would be, to see if that was an appropriate wage for people up in America. And I couldn't, my conscience couldn't, like, go, I felt like I was kind of being put on the spot a bit, because that's just how I interpreted it. But now I'm seeing how it can be interpreted differently. But it was definitely a tester feeler kind of, he was putting that information out there as sort of a taking my temperature kind of way. And I initially interpreted it as being, I apologize, boss. I'm sorry. I'm forgetting about your eyes. I'll get back to work. So, let's change it. I'm thinking more blue. Yes. Okay, let's do that. So, what I thought was that, at the time, was that Jorge was kind of feeling out if that was a typical wage to be paid to people in America. And I wasn't sure if Jeremy was, like, messing with Jorge and telling him that he was making lower wages than what he clearly must have been making for that kind of work, so on and so forth. And I felt like I was kind of being put in a spot, and like I might be exposing Jeremy, like tricking Jorge. If I acted with the kind of shock and surprise that I wanted to react with, but I still reacted with that shock and surprise to some degree. I was like, no, but I was like, I kind of toned it down. I was like, maybe you misheard or something, because he couldn't possibly be getting paid only $300 every 2 weeks. That's just not right at all. I don't even get paid that little. That's insane. And so because I was so firm in it, he pretty quickly, not long after that, it was sort of like from the next one stall to the next, because you go from one horse stall to the next horse stall and you're just mucking poop out and chatting while you're mucking poop out. So he kind of added in, like what, something that he thought, like kind of he then offered a possible explanation for why he would have been told it was only that Jeremy got paid only $300 every 2 weeks, which was that it's possible that David allows Jeremy to border horses there in the barn, to house horses there that private owners are paying Jeremy to train or break, and so that's part of his pay. So Jeremy would be. Let's try green. Sorry, I'm like focusing on two things at once. So the suggestion was that Jeremy might be getting paid in being allowed to keep certain horses in David Saintsing's barn that he's getting paid to train by private owners. And he would need some place to keep the horses. He doesn't own the land. He doesn't own the barn. So that could be part of his pay. Yes, I like that. From David is that he gets to keep a certain amount of horses in the barn, or I guess even, or in like, maybe the, in the stalls. There are like sort of 3 exposed stalls outside of the barn next to the corral. So that might be actually the deal that Jeremy Edwards and David have, if it is in fact the case that Jeremy only gets paid $300 from David Saintsing every 2 weeks, as Jorge told me in the barn. So that could be the case, that Jeremy is allowed to keep some horses in the barn that are privately owned by other people while he's taming them, breaking them in for those people. And I'm sure they would pay him a pretty penny for that. That could be an explanation. It did feel a little bit like a cover-up explanation. I don't know. But again, at the time, I thought well of Jorge, so I thought maybe he was doing feelers of like trying to get his grip on the way things were in America, and feeling out if what he's being told from some people here and there is accurate, about what's right to get paid and stuff. But now I'm thinking along very different lines. Yeah. So I'm wondering if Jorge was trying to, I don't know, somehow suggest that, implanted in my mind that I should be getting paid not much to do my work, or something along those lines. And I know also, like, a lot of the pay would be tips. They'd get tipped, which Jorge would give me small portions of his if he got big tips, he'd give me small portions of his tips in the very beginning, and that dropped off pretty quickly, like I'd say after a week or two. So yeah. And I'm trying to remember if there's, I wish I could zoom in more, but unfortunately, this is a small picture. I can enlarge it, but... So you guys tell me, Jorge Camacho Rivera, if he was the one lying to me, or if Jeremy Edwards was lying to him, or if it's true, Jeremy Edwards only gets paid $300 every 2 weeks by David Saintsing, because Jeremy gets to keep horses in David's barn that he's training for other private owners. If that's the case, owners, I would not be having Jeremy Edwards train your horse, because then he's keeping it in a really shitty barn. That barn is total crap. It is infested with rats. It's infested with snakes. It has rat holes all over it. It has wires sticking out of the holes that the horses were chewing on. There we go. Pretty, pretty girl. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Do 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 do. I wish I could zoom in more, but this will just have to be good enough. No. You know what? We'll go thicker for the eyebrows. Do, 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 do. Come on, you. There we go. There we go, boss. Looking pretty. Nah, I don't want to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm trying to make these lashes look nice and thick. Nah, now you just look like a beat-up whore. Gotta get in there. Try that one. But why do you guys think? Post your comments. Why do you think Jorge Camacho Rivera was telling me in the barn that David Saintsing only paid Jeremy Edwards $300 every 2 weeks for that kind of work? And let me tell you, that kind of work is worth way more than $300 every 2 weeks. Taking care of like 11 horses in a barn and fixing up stalls that get kicked down every day and all that. Yeah, it's worth way more than $300 every 2 weeks. For sure, for sure. Let's do that. And then we'll do, oh, I know. We'll do... Nah, I don't like that one. Yeah. I wish I had a stylus right now. I'm just using my finger. Otherwise, I'd be doing way better right now. Nah. Oh, blush. Let's do rouge. Rouge and blush. Do 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 do. Looking pretty, boss. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Pretty, 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 pretty. Oh, I know. It's this one. Yeah, that's good. Let's do pretty earring. Oh my gosh, give me a stylus. I'm going to town with this thing. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not even talking anymore. I'm just like all into trying to make this app do what I want. We'll do some extra little earrings up here too. How about one right there? Oh my gosh, beautiful. Oh my gosh. Boss, you should totally get your nose pierced. Dude, do it. Do it. Get your nose pierced. Go punk. Come on, you can do it. Sure, Nora won't mind. Oh no, let's get in there darker with the around the eyes. Let's do. There we go. No, that's too dark. That's too crazy. Too cray. Let's go down here more. Oh my gosh, so amazing. Like Tinkerbell. Oh my gosh, what would you look like as a blonde? Let's see. Who am I thinking of? He looks like somebody in the country music scene. Who does he look like? Oh my gosh. Was it Kid Rock or something? I don't know. Let's give him a ponytail. Ponytail. There we go. Pretty. Hold on. Let's do some of that in there too. stay tuned for more videos where I put makeup on people. I'll have to remember to talk while I'm doing it, though. I apologize. I'll get better at it. I'll keep doing it. I'm kind of very single-minded in that way. Let's do one thing at a time. Get some of that in there. We'll get another dark shade in there for some dimension. This is how you put in dimension, people. You layer layers of colors, and I'll go back in with another light color, and you'll see the layers in the dimension. Or it could be a total flub. Let's see how it works out. Let's try that one. Yeah, no, now he's just looking like Sasquatch, the albino Sasquatch. I have to make a better video. This is gonna be a for shits and giggles video. I can feel it. Coming. I'll make it better. Jorge's Inconsistencies video, having to do with Jeremy Edwards' pay. It's like if Jeremy Edwards morphed into the albino Sasquatch. What is that? The Yeti. That thing the Sasquatch that lives up north amongst the snows. Yeah, let's just go full beard. Yeah, there we go. Like Santa. Oh my gosh, this couldn't have worked out better, I think. Actually this is way better. There we go. I knew we'd find your face. Your true face. There it is. Freaking Colonel Sanders there. There we go. There we go. Oh, we can't forget this part. We have to let's do lush purple, violet. I don't like that enough. I'm gonna make it smaller for the next one down. Come on, buddy. Let my cat in. I can't believe I'm still recording. Whatever. I'm a trooper. I stay in there till the end, till it's done. There. That's good enough. It's beautiful. Yours are beautiful. I'm going to make another one of boss. All right. I think that's good enough. I think that's a good one. That's definitely a good one.